Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Thank you very much for watching this channel. Do please like and subscribe. And don't forget to make comments if you would. Be very kind. Just tell me what you think about my podcast, broadcast, channel, etc. And don't forget, you can get a copy of my new book, Part 3, HMP Manchester Prison Officer. It's available on Amazon, and it's got many 5-star reviews, which I'm very pleased about. Now, I'm going to talk today about HMP CHORLEY, which has not yet arrived on the scenes. We've got HMP Garth, which is just up the road a bit, just outside CHORLEY, but there are proposals to build a virtually 2,000 place massive supermax prison. They're going to proposedly call HMP CHORLEY, and there's been objections from the local council because people have got enough prisons around here. We've got HMP Garth, we've got another one next door to that, we've got HMP Preston, we've got HMP Kirkham, and now they want to build another one, all within a circumference of 15 miles. I mean, why should this part of Lancashire be doomed for all the prisons? I know it's a case of not in my backyard, but if it was you, you wouldn't want it, would you? I also believe that what's going to happen to HMP Strangeways, or HMP Manchester, as it is now officially called, I think they're going to pull it down and turn it into a museum, or certainly part of it turned into a museum. That would be good. I've got some history there, as you all are aware. But the prisons all over the place are slowly, the old Victorian prisons, they're coming to the end of their days, aren't they? I mean, Strangeways is crumbling. They can't maintain that indefinitely. I mean, it's 1868 it was built. It's rapidly approaching 200 years old, which is all well and good, but it's seen some batter, has it not? And that riot didn't do it any good in 1990, when they ripped the roof off and set the place mainly on fire. Yeah, shortly after I left. Anyway, so what are they going to do with all these prisoners? The prison population is at virtual capacity, and they're talking about building more prisons instead of actually looking at the reasons that we put people into prison. They are considering building more prisons and putting more people into prison. More prisoners, that's what we need. Who on earth thinks that? I mean, people are being put into prison for unpaid fines. If people could pay the fines, they wouldn't go to prison. People are being put in prison for not paying television licenses. I mean, is it the responsibility of this government to provide me with entertainment? I mean, I'm not saying that Graham Norton isn't amusing, but actually paying somebody to ponce about on television, I mean really ponce about on television, cracking jokes and generally having a laugh at my expense. I haven't volunteered for that, yet they are doing it. I absolutely do agree with the BBC Radio 4. I listen to it every day. Be the Today programme, 6 in the morning till 9. It's an absolutely fantastic news programme. They've got all the very best interviews, and they're sensible about it. This is not a Mickey take. This is serious stuff. BBC Radio 4. And also BBC World Service. I highly recommend that, especially between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. So if you've got a little bit of insomnia, as I have as I approach what could laughingly be called my middle age, few raised eyebrows there. But, it is the most wonderful service, the best radio in the world, BBC Radio. And I've been on the radio stations in America. Numerous had a radio show in America for about 18 months. And every 15 minutes or so, every 10 minutes or so, they stop the show to say, and now we'll stop with a word from our sponsor. Don't forget to buy Snippy Snappy Snickersnocks. They're great for your dog and for your grandmother. Hey, double it up there, folks. Snooper Snacky Snickersnocks. And then you straight back into the interview as if nothing had happened. You know? Don't matter who you are, they stop you halfway through. Anyway, that's my little rant for today about the radio. But, they're building all these massive prisons and they're just finding people to put in them. That's not going to be too difficult because we seem to be importing people who have got a predilection for committing what I would call reasonably serious criminal offences, such as armed robbery, gang rapes, trafficking pre-teenage girls, setting up gangs to exploit them. I mean, you don't have to be of a particular ethnicity to do that, but it seems that a certain group of people specialise in such treatment. And whilst I'm not a big Tommy Robinson fan, I can see where he's coming from when he's making statements that are criticising the way that our government are treating what is becoming a massive problem. And the prisons are splitting into the kind of gangland thuggery that we see in America. I'd highly recommend that you read the book Hard Time by Sean Atwood, in which he paints the picture of his time in a prison in Arizona where he was had to virtually forcibly join the white ethnics because the other ethnic minority groups had split themselves into gangs, and if you weren't with one of the gangs, then you were going to be on your own and you'd get turned over. And the same kind of thing is happening in the British prison system today. And now it's that time of day, folks. Yeah, I'm going to read you a poem here. This is definitely one of my favourite poems. I've actually got it on on an album, a long-playing album, by the way, of classical poetry. This is by John Keats. Yeah, and so you can't see me very well, but I can see the writing here. Here we go. Let me see if I can see that. Is that a bit better? That's probably, that's a bit better, isn't it? At least you can get a vague idea of the outline here. It's La Belle Dame Sans Merci by John Keats, which roughly translated means the beautiful lady without mercy. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms, alone and palely wandering? The sedge has withered from the lake, and no birds sing. Oh, what can ail thee, knight at arms, so haggard and so woe-begone? The squirrel's greenery is full, and the harvest done. I see a lily on thy brow, with anguish moist and fever dew, and on the cheeks a fading rose fast withereth too. I met a lady in the meads, full beautiful, a fairish child. Her hair was long, her foot was light, and her eyes were wild. I made a garland for her head, and bracelets too, and fragrant zone. She looked at me as she did love, and made sweet moan. I set her on my pacing steed, and nothing else saw all day long, for sidelong would she bend and sing a fairy song. She found the roots of relish sweet, and honey wild, and manna dew, and sure in language strange she said, I love thee true. She took me to her elfin grot, and there she wept and sighed full sore, and there she shut her wild, wild eyes with kisses four. And there she lulled me asleep, and there I dreamed. Ah, woe betide the latest dream I ever had on the cold hillside. I saw pale kings and princes too, pale warriors, death pale were they. They cried, La belle dame sans merci hath thee in thrall. I saw their starry lips in the gloam, with horrid warning gaping wide, and I woke and found me here on the cold hillside. And this is why I sojourn here, alone and palely loitering, though the sedge is withered from the lake, and no birds sing. La Belle Dame Sans Merci by John Keats. Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton.